Oh, LTA power rankings. Okay. All right, boys. I briefly went over these yesterday, but I think I'm gonna I know it's not LOLWiki, it's LOL fandom, whatever. Okay, so here are the rosters, right? LTA North, newly branded LCS, right? I'm only going to rank the Northern Conference. Obviously, I don't really know that much about the Southern Conference, which is primarily CBLOL teams. So, going to stick to stuff that is pretty continuous with last season, okay? So the first two things to notice, I guess, would be that FlyQuest and Team Liquid, who are the number 1 and number 2 teams, they played in the finals of last summer finals. Really close, ended in a base race. Really insanely close series, actually. Funny way for LCS to end, but these teams didn't change their roster at all, and they were already really dominant, and it wasn't really that close. It would actually be troll as fuck if I didn't rank FlyQuest and Team Liquid as top of the league, because they only got to improve, basically. Like they just get a little bit more time together to flesh things out. And they were already the top teams, and I don't really feel, well, we'll get into it more, but I don't really feel like any of these new rosters immediately look as good as them. So for that reason, I'm going to put FlyQuest at S tier, and I'm going to put Team Liquid pretty much identical to them. I think it was very close between the two teams, but I will put them, within the same tier but lower. Okay, so the funniest shit is happening where like some teams are super budget and some teams are not. So like Cloud9, right? They went back to their roots with Sven Volken and Blabber. I'm gonna say that depending on how good Loki is, because how important mid is, this is already looking like a top team, right? They got Reaper coaching. He's always been good. They got the core of Blabber, Sven, and Volken, and that was the core with Perks, I want to say, where I think it was Perks and Fudge, where they went on an insane run and they were really dominant. They were really good. Now, are these guys washed? I don't think so. I think that the experience is going to shine through. These are all good players. Sven didn't have the best last split, but I'm going to chalk that up to it's his first split back. So I think C9 has a lot of potential. The biggest question mark is Loki, but this roster looks good, right, guys? I think that this roster looks good. So I put them a tier below FlyQuest and TL. I think that's pretty fair. It would be pretty crazy to predict them to be immediately as good as them. So yeah. Let's see here. Dignitas, Surdy, Lyra, Kane, Tomo, Isles. Okay, so immediately my thought on that is, wait, is Lyra actually gelling for this team? I thought it was Shiden. Okay, this website is trolling. Shiden, I'm like, what the hell? Lyra is fucking playing? No, it's Shiden. It's Surdy, Shiden, Kane, Tomo, and Isles. This is like the rookie team. At this point, it's pretty troll to say that Tomo and Isles are rookies. These guys have been playing in the league for years. So it's really the rookie team because of Surdy and Shiden. I remember Kane being pretty decent on Rainbow 7. Or I don't even know if that's what they're called, R7. I think they're called Rainbow 7, but he was pretty good. He was one of the 2 decent players on that team. So I think he's really good, actually. When I watched him play at Worlds, I thought he was actually very good. This is a team that has a lot of potential, but immediately I'm gonna have to put them pretty low just because of the inexperience, right? I think it's gonna be unlikely that this team does well in the beginning, to be honest. Not enough experience. It's for Surdy and Shiden, it's kind of like either their first time with Surdy and LCS, or it's like his second time around with Shiden, but Shiden was never really that great in LCS. He's always been very good in solo queue, though. So that is that's kind of where I put him. I put him definitely a couple tiers below C9. Let's see here. Lion. Hold on, let me ban my champ real quick. Now, Lion. Licorice, Audi, Saint, Henna, and Lions. This guy's an Inter. I remember him. Henna's really good. I don't know anything about Saint, so I'm just going to refrain from It's kind of like Saint and Loki, these two new Korean mid laners. It's just like complete burger flip whether or not they're going to be good. Audi, he's not going to be very good in LCS. I'm just going to keep it real here. Licorice, he's like, could be decent. It really just depends. I feel like Licorice had a really, really good year on Golden Guardians, and ever since, he's been kind of riding on that. To me, this is actually a team that's in the... It's... I don't have the highest hopes for them, but they should be immediately just as good as Dignitas. So I'm going to put them there for now. Why is Shiden suspended? Wait, Shiden is suspended? Oh, because of in-game behavior. They got Shiden. Wait, he's suspended from... Okay, maybe I put Dignitas down here, but I'll rank them based on their actual roster. I feel like that's only fair. Too many gamer words in solo queue. Yeah, I mean, Shiden has always been kind of a little bit of a fiend in solo queue. Okay, so who's next? Shopify, Fudge, Contracts, Palafox, Bvoy, and Seos. What do we think about this team, guys? They also have Zazel. I think Bvoy's good. I think Palafox had one of the worst years I've seen from a mid laner in LCS. Like, he had a horrendous year. Just have to be completely brutally honest here. It was crazy to think that this is the Palafox that was gapping everybody to make that crazy run for energy at Worlds. The one that beat G2. You know, Palafox was insane that year. And then the year following, that team, Energy, was just complete dog shit, and Palafox looked terrible. So I think this is just like kind of a statement year right here. It's like, can he bounce back from that year that he just had? Contracts, I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass because I think that Joel is really affected by how good the laners are playing, and his laners were playing really, really terribly last season. So it's really tough to say like, oh man, Palafox also had a bad year. It's like, you don't know what's going on internally. Fudge, he just came from C9. I think this is a decent team, but the biggest question mark for me is definitely Palafox. For support, you know, it's just like these guys are not going to run it down, but they're not going to be like super players either. So I'm going to put Shopify probably in B tier. Between C9 and Dignitas, I think that's fair. They have the experience advantage over Dig, but they don't have quite as many... they don't have as many mechanical prodigies, I guess, as what's possible with like Shiden and Zerdy. But I think like immediately, that's where I would put them. Okay, last two. DSG is just straight budget roster, guys. Let's be completely honest. They didn't even try to make a good roster, or maybe they did, but like they don't have the budget. They couldn't afford any of the top players. So DSG is just straight up in the bottom, right? We're talking about like they just put together a roster because they had to. And for Dig, or sorry, not for Dig, for 100 Thieves. Sniper, Quid, and River had a pretty decent year last year, and Sniper's growth was really impressive. The biggest question for me is whether or not FBI is an upgrade to Tomo. I think Tomo played really well last year, but I don't know if a lot of other people saw what I saw. I think 100 Thieves is just a solid B tier in the same level as Shopify. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put him here. I'm actually gonna have to put him above Shopify, to be honest. So, yeah, that's my tier list. Abadagas said DSG would win. That would be crazy, guys. We're talking about percentages here, right? Like DSG could win in some universe, but like they actually just had the most budget roster imaginable. JoJo's playing on Koi. Also, JoJo had a really terrible year last year as well. I think he wants to like wash his hands of